Good evening, friends, and welcome to the final meeting of the pastoral visit of His Excellency Bishop Paul Hinder. Let's give a round of applause and welcome His Excellency Bishop Paul Hinder. Now, to welcome him, may I request our Parish Council Secretary, Ms. Nandini, to say a few words.
Good evening, Your Excellency, Bishop Paul. Let me begin by quoting the words from the decree of the Apostolate of the Laity Apostolica Acquisita by Pope Paul 16:6. in 1965. I quote, "In the church, there is a diversity of ministry, but a oneness of mission. Christ conferred on the apostles and their successors the duty of teaching, sanctifying, and ruling in his name and power. But the laity likewise shares in the priestly, prophetic, and royal office of Christ, and therefore have their own share in the mission of the whole people of God in church and in the world." Today, we have in the platform the various moments of laity, like the Legion of Mary, the Carolus, the different prayer groups of our parish, the St. Joseph Young Adults, the altar servers, the Eucharistic ministers, and the Jesus Youth. On behalf of all of them attending the meeting on the Zoom and others following on live stream on YouTube, I welcome Your Excellency Bishop Paul to the final virtual forum of the Pastoral Visit of 2021.
Thank you.
Thank you, Nandini. May I request now His Excellency Bishop Paul to say a few words.
Good evening, everybody who is looking at this moment. And I am looking forward to what is presented this evening. I am very curious about what you have to tell me, or maybe also to ask me. May the Lord be with us this evening with His Holy Spirit, as we have to do with the different ministries, especially of the laity. Okay, welcome, and let us start and not lose the time.
Thank you, Bishop, and welcome once again. Before we start with the questions, a few reminders. Please note, the members of the Zoom, we request you to mute your mic always. If you have any questions, raise your hands virtually, so the admin will let you unmute you and let you ask a question. The priests are not part of this meeting, but they may be watching on the YouTube as it's live. We will not be taking any questions requesting additional masses or community masses, so please do not repeat these questions. And those watching us on YouTube, you can send us a message on 056 306 2052. 056 306 2052. So if you have any questions, any suggestions, complaints, and feedback, or anything that you would like to share with His Excellency, you may do it now. As you see, we already have someone who has raised a hand, and that is Mr. Alex from St. Joseph Youth Association. Is Alex there or lost? Okay, I think his connection has a problem. We have someone else also. There is some Jesus Youth, Sijo.
Yeah, good evening.
Good evening.
The Bishop, first of all, thank you so much for your loving support and pastoral care. Especially, we appreciate all the great support by our parish and our parish priest, Father Johnson, and our chaplain, Father Joby, for all the love and care, all the guidance they are giving to enrich our spiritual life, especially in this difficult time. It is always giving a good feeling, like a wonderful feeling for us, and we feel that we are not alone here. Like always, the Mother Church is with us. In the current situation, definitely there are a lot of regulations, restrictions, but still we are following. By following all the regulations, we are trying our best to remain connected, with our members. And we are continuing our ministry works through various online platforms. And one good thing in this pandemic time, we can say that our media ministry is also very active and doing a good job through media, like online evangelization. And dear Bishop, as you know that maybe you are aware that Jesus Youth Abu Dhabi is completed 25 years, a long journey. And last 2019, we had our Jubilee celebration UAE level. You were part of it. And still we remember you are dancing with us, like, for yes to the Lord, like. And it's wonderful moments. And now, as we are in 25 years completed as a Jesus Youth Abu Dhabi, we are requesting your special blessings and prayers in this Jubilee year. And we would like to know if you have any suggestions or any opinions about our Jubilee preparations. So far, we have not finalized any of our Jubilee celebration plans. So we would like to know from you, Bishop, if you have any suggestions.
Yeah, I'm not sure that it is now the forum to enter into the question of the Jubilee and how to do it. I'm also not prepared to this question and to give you a valid answer. As you may now know from the past, anyhow, I am personally not such a fan of Jubilee celebration. Of course, it's always good to remember the past and to refresh the spirit. And I think that's the meaning of every good Jubilee celebration, to grab in the past, to remember from where we come, but equally to reflect where we have to go and what is the true goal of the movement where I am a member or whatever the project of life is. But I don't need here now to go into details. I am surely not designing a banner or something like that, that I leave to you. Yes, enough gifted people in the Jesus Youth to do that work.
Thank you.
Thank you, Bishop. Now we have a question on our WhatsApp, so we would like to go with that question. They say we request for the English choir to include new hymns.
Yeah, nobody has ever forbidden to integrate new hymns. By the way, I share this request. I thought very often we have a standard repertoire, which is okay, but sometimes a little bit more variety, and learning new hymns wouldn't be bad.
Thank you, Bishop. Next, again, I guess Alex is back online. He would like to speak to us.
Good evening, Bishop, once again. Thank you for giving this opportunity to speak once again. On behalf of the St. Joseph Young Adults and the Young Adult Ministry in Abu Dhabi, since its formation for the past 4 years, it has been really amazing to see the growth of the young adults within our parish. In spite of us facing difficult times during COVID, we were able to meet virtually, and even following all the protocols given to us by the government, we were able to meet in small groups and still carry out our mission, which is to grow as a group wherever we can. But there have been few concerns since these past 4 years, especially from the time since we had the synod in Abu Dhabi. This has got to do on the level of YAM Avosa YAM and YAM Abu Dhabi. Basically, when we look around, we see that many of the leaders who are there at the level of Avosa YAM and especially YAM in Abu Dhabi are way above the age group which is chosen for YAM, which is 18 to 35. Most of them are in their late 40s. Some of them even have their children who are joining and trying to be members of the young adults ministry, which becomes a contradiction. And a few of them are not ready to step down from their roles and give an opportunity for the young adults to take the group and move forward. They keep trying to indicate their the things they have learned or whatever they feel is right, rather than giving an opportunity for the young adults to take and move the group forward. On many occasions, when we have questioned um, the seniors or the coordinators who I'm talking about, they have constantly mentioned by quoting your name, saying that a bishop has told us to keep continuing right now in our position, and they disclose the matter. Whenever we have asked them why is the youngsters not getting an opportunity or anything with regards to an authoritative question, it's always quoted as per your name, and we are not sure whether the answers given are actually from you or it's just made up from them at times.
Okay, thank you. You have to take into account my age. Sometimes I can't remember what I've said in the past, but surely in this regard, there is no document which would confirm that it has to continue always in the same composition, the leadership of the group. But I would like to express my concerns, not only regarding YAM, I have done it, by the way, also for Jesus Youth. There is a risk of all these movements which have to do with young people, that we are aging without being aware that there comes the point where we should have new people behind. I think every youth organization, be it young adult, be it Jesus Youth, or Youth for Christ and so on, has to address this problem. And there I can only encourage you to give down the lead step by step to new people, also to refresh, to give refreshment to the movement. Otherwise, it becomes soon a club, a senior club, and you would have to change the name. Instead of young adult, you should say old adult, or I don't know what. And I think that's not the meaning of the initiative. By the way, of course, there has been an ambiguity in the concept of YAM on the AVOSA level, and let's say here in the parish, where it was constituted as a kind of separate youth group, while on the AVOSA level, it was thought right from the beginning as a roof organ to coordinate the different existing or coming up young adult groups.
We'll always be younger at Bishop, so we never get old, so that's why it's difficult.
Yeah, but I am old.
Okay. Next question. We recommend that we start the Mass 15 minutes apart to reduce the crowding at the end of the Mass and crowding at the exit.
To reduce, can you leave the text, please?
We start the Mass 15 minutes apart to reduce the crowding at the end of the Mass and crowding at the exit.
Yeah, I really do not understand what that changes. When the Mass is finished, people go out. Or do you want more time to empty the church? I do not really understand.
We do not have many Masses which are next to each other except for Sundays.
Yeah.
Or the other days we have 1 hour difference between the Masses. So only it's Sundays that we have Masses back to back. Still, the exit is clear.
What does it mean, the 15 minutes we give at the beginning, then we stop 15 minutes earlier, then we have the same problem. Unless you want the priest to preach 15 minutes more, but I don't think that's your desire.
So,
sometimes already now, some people say that the priests are preaching too long, certain at least.
Okay. Now we have one more person on the Zoom, Mr. Clipson from Caris, who would like to speak to us.
Thank you, Rajan. Good evening, Bishop. Good evening, all the team members. And wishes of Pentecost once again, Bishop.
Yeah.
Thank you very much.
You should now follow the vigil in Rome. No?
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah,
So
okay.
It's a pleasure to share with you that, first of all, we thank you for your wonderful leadership and guidance for the carries as a whole on a national level and beyond, and especially the way Abu Dhabi Parish is leading in many things. And even this pastoral visit on virtual platform is an example for that. And with that, we are setting a lot of standards, perhaps to the whole world. And because of that, we are meeting after 2 years in this forum with Bishop, especially with you and the whole team. And during this time, we had this carries formation in February 2020. And within a month's time, we had a lockdown, and slowly things started getting building up. And as we all say, necessity is the mother of invention, and it's a blessing. As a blessing in disguise, we could have beyond boundaries people to as resource persons in various levels in general. And of course, as you were rightly mentioning yesterday, presence is very important, and especially for sacraments. But other than that, I think all the prayer groups have done very well. And especially on the national level, we are currently having Life in the Spirit seminar being attended, registered by more than 600 people, and Mission Warriors training. And Bible quiz upcoming 2021 is already declared, so that all the parishes and their parishioners get an opportunity to participate. Apart from that, we have been successful in forming the parish service of communion, and hopefully Abu Dhabi will also have the parish service of communion. Already we have 6 parish service of communions, and Abu Dhabi soon will have, maybe soon after the pastoral visit, Bishop. That's in general we have to tell you about. And thank you very much for the entire priests, all the Reverend Fathers' support for each and every prayer groups. And we believe that the carries is also contributing to the parish activities. Thank you, Bishop.
Thank you for this. There's no question.
Okay. Next suggestion: Saturday and Sunday, 6:30 a.m. Mass need not have registrations. Saturday and Sunday, 6:30 a.m. They don't want register.
No. They wish to have no restriction, or there are no
No,
restrictions.
they wish to have no restriction.
Yeah. That is a question that has again to be decided at parish level according to the crowd which is appearing. We know that for the time being, the number of participants is limited. If you see that generally we can manage it without registration, then go ahead like during the weekdays. But as soon as you see the problem at the weekend, that more people are coming than we can let in, then you have equally the problem that you have to send away the people, and they don't like that.
Sometimes you have too many unregistered people outside, and you have to send them back.
Yeah. But the rest is again the problem we had yesterday. Those who are registering and not appearing, of course, that's another issue we have to look at. But that I have to leave to the specialists of the system in the parish.
But yeah, with that, as Bishop said, people who register did not come. We request again and again, if you cannot make it for the Mass, please do not register. Please cancel 24 hours before, so that others can get a chance. We have a lot of times the church is fully booked, but when the Mass timing comes, the church is empty. So please, let's not waste the seats. We have the next question.
It's like with a private audience with the Pope. When I'm getting a date, I have to appear, and otherwise it's done for the next year. Huh? So we should take it also for the Mass. There is even more than the Pope.
Okay. Next one. Bishop, you say we shouldn't stay with virtual spiritual life, but when could we come to the Mass with all our children? They need to go to church. We all need to.
Yeah, when, I can't say as soon as possible, and the regulations are allowing it, because officially We have still the regulations that children are below 12, 9 now, below 9 shouldn't come to the church. That's, I don't see actually the reason now, but this is not depending on us alone. So I hope that these regulations will be modified soon, that families can again appear, because it's not normal that the family has to be divided.
Next, in St. Teresa's Church, why have the statues of the saints been removed? Except for the statue of Mother Mary and St. Teresa earlier, all the statues were present.
Yeah, you don't need to ask me why have the statue of saints been removed. I only saw it one day, they were no more there. So ask the question in the right place.
Okay, we will take it to the parish priest.
I was not asked to put them, and I was not asked to remove them. At least I can't remember. But the important is, I think, that Our Lady is there, and St. Therese, the patron of that church, is also there. That's the most important. And the others, we know that all the saints are always present when we are celebrating the Holy Week.
Now we are on the Zoom. We have Ms. Joyce who would like to ask a question.
Good evening, Your Excellency. Actually, we have a lot of youth who are seeing young adults work in the church, and they also want to serve the church. And since they're too young for the age group, they're not able to be a part of the young adults. Can we facilitate a youth group for these youngsters so that they can also serve the church? And then eventually, maybe a few years down the line, when they are in the young adults, they could join the young adults.
It's difficult to understand because there is an echo. Maybe it's because
Hello?
of my.
Is it audible now?
Yeah.
So my question was, there are.
Question of the volume. It's a question that there's.
Okay, I got your question. I guess I got your question. What she's saying, there are a lot of youth in their teens who would like to join the youth, but there is not much opportunity. So could we do something about it? Is that right, Joyce?
Yes, that's
it.
Yeah. Again, we are on the level, the question we had before, the young adults or the youth group. I think that's a question within the parish to organize, not?
Yeah. So
I'm always stressing that in all the parishes that they should take care of the youth after the confirmation and look that they are the respective instruments, so let's say the forums or the spaces where they can be coordinated and live. Now, in which form? Of course, we have different traditions, we have different cultures, and we may have to respect that, but I'm more than in favor that the youth be integrated, also given responsibility within the parish where it is possible accordingly. Like it was said this evening, welcome to the candidates for the readers after the confirmation.
Okay. Now we have one more person on Zoom, Mr. Theo, who would like to say something.
Good evening, Your Excellency. I have a question on the cohabiting together of people before the solemnization of holy matrimony. In African traditional society, there's this marriage system where people marry traditionally and the parents give out the spouse or something to the daughters to the bridegroom. That juncture, the community will gather and everything. The marriage is proclaimed maybe like contracted. But the people we start living together sometimes before even the Catholic solemnization in the church. What is your view on this kind of setup? Question came up sometime when we were doing virtual Bible class. Was people are still apparently confused about whether it's absolutely allowable or not in the church.
Yeah, you know the teaching of the church that living together without blessed marriage in the understanding of the Catholic Church is not allowed. Now, on the other hand, we know that the reality throughout the world in different parts looks differently, and that has to be dealt with surely in a pastoral manner. But I can not give you here now on the screen a general rule for that. We have to insist on the regularization of the problem or the question you may refer to in African culture. Of course, there is another one where you have a kind of different phases in the approach of I would say, the final marriage. And that may be that there is also an issue which has to be dealt with also on the level of the World Church. Some indications are given in Amoris Laetitia, but of course it has not resolved all the problems we are dealing with. But we have, even in our part here, by the way, we touched it yesterday or the day before yesterday, the problem of people who are, for example, only civilly married without being blessed marriage in a sacramental way. But that remains a challenge for all the pastors around the world.
Thank you, Bishop. Our next question is from the altar server. Your Excellency, Bishop Paul, as an altar server, I had missed one whole year of serving. Is there any possibility for us to serve with maintaining the safety protocols?
That's my wish. I said it yesterday when you gave me all the compliments from the altar service. I miss you. The rest is to be negotiated now when you can come back to the sanctuary to serve regularly in the Mass. Of course, it's not easy to keep the social distance in the sanctuary in the present situation with a lot of altar servers. But me too, I wish that soon we can come back to that. Then, of course, we had, at least before, also the question of the age, that may be a little less present now when we have already gone down to 9 years, and may hope that soon there will be even youngers who can join.
Okay. Now we have someone on the Zoom who would like to speak to us. It's Miss Katya.
Yes, good evening, Bishop. Good evening, the prayer groups. I'm speaking on behalf of the Sisterhood of Immaculate Conception, the Arabic community. First of all, Salam al-Masih. Then I would like to thank you, Bishop, and I would like to thank also our priest, Father Eli, and the Arabic community for your support in this condition, COVID-19. I want to give a special thanks to the volunteers who helped us in organizing the Mass and the flow of the Mass and the registration. Actually, my question was the same as the one before. I'm asking about the altar servers, but I got the answer. That was actually my question, because our children are so passionate and they need to come back. They are coming to prayer with us, but they love to serve at the altar with the priest. That's why. But thank you all.
Me too. I am waiting for that.
If we can make it, if it is possible to make it like as a suggestion, 1 or 2 kids only at the altar, not all of them, and they alternate weekly.
I understand.
It might be a solution. Thank you.
Thank you. We have our next question. Kindly suggesting a group of members like the parish council, the young adults, should also have their own council where different coordinators from their own groups, again age 18 to 35, come along and get to talk and work together on future projects in the parish alongside the parish council.
As a kind of youth council or what?
I think that's YAM already.
Yeah. Yeah, maybe that not everybody is organized there. Then you have the problem we spoke before. That may be that the horizon has to be widened a little bit regarding the youth, because we have quite a lot of young people in the charismatic prayer groups or in the Youth for Christ and so on. Maybe we have less possibilities for the average youth. I don't know how to call it better. And maybe there would be a particular need, because I would say in the tendency of the secularism also in this part of the world for certain youth, it may be important that they have a home and a possibility, a forum where they can express themselves. Initiatives to be taken on the level of the parish, because this you cannot simply organize on the diocesan or vicariates level. We can give the support, let's say also from the YAM on that level, yes, but the reality is in the parish, and there they have to do the first steps. It has to come from the ground, the grassroots level, and then it can grow up to the higher level.
We will work on it from the parish. Hopefully, we can prepare something. Okay, one more question from WhatsApp. As young adults in our parish, we would like to request if we could have a mass for all the young adults, 18 to 35 age group, once a month, where the entire young adults group can handle the mass alongside a young priest like Father Derek or Father Abhishai. The reason I say this is because we can always have this group from different communities come together as young adults to work and get together while handling the mass, from volunteering to lectors and even choir. Kindly request if this could be done, as we really get together all the young adult communities together, working in our parish together.
I think it's a question which is not asked for the first time. Only the names have changed because there are new people here now, and I understand that. I can't only say make the request to the parish. It's okay. I understand the need. Only I would also say, if one day we have that young adult mass or whatever it is per month, it shouldn't be the only mass to go per month. Because sometimes that's a little bit the risk when we have a mass for with a particular accent. The people think, oh, that's it, now we have done. On the other hand, I have to admit it is better to have once a month a mass than never during the year. It's another problem with the young people.
Now we have someone else again on Zoom from MFC, Abu Dhabi.
Pardon?
CFFL group, now they are called MFC.
Yes. Hi. Okay. Good evening, Bishop, and good evening, brothers and sisters. On behalf of MFC, thank you for the opportunity to be part of this pastoral visit 2021. As observed, the precautionary measures, specifically in the entrance, is not that strict anymore. Human sanitizer is no longer working. In this matter, as community, how can we support the church for the safety and protection of all parishioners? And another question, Bishop, is how we can help the parishes, the churches, to give support to our brethren, especially those who doesn't have a community, who are affected with this pandemic situation. Thank you.
Yeah, to come with the second question, if I've understood it the right way, of course, there are many initiatives on the individual level or certain groups who are reaching out. Definitely we can, as I said also yesterday or the day before yesterday, not resolve all the problems, but we have as a church community, as a brotherhood, I would say, as in the church, a responsibility that we let not hang people who have been affected by this pandemic. And we have to look what is feasible on the material level as help, on a psychological level, then especially also a spiritual level. Counseling for people who have fallen into a depression or who have to digest a loss in their family or back home, and who are in an economic crisis because they lost a job. And so there are many, many problems connected. But it is also to say that a parish cannot absorb all the solutions, all the problems, and to give a solution to that. But for the rest, you may remember that from earlier years that we spoke about kind of service similar to what, for example, the parish of Dubai is called the Samaritan service, things like that. I was always said that it exists in this parish. Also, I haven't seen a report now this year about this activity. Then the first question, I didn't.
The human sanitizer, when you walk inside the tent, the sanitizer itself is not working anymore. So they're saying, how can we protect?
Yeah, that is a technical problem. I surely don't have, I didn't even know about that.
But still, Bishop, even if that's not working, we are sanitizing and checking the temperatures. As long as everyone follows the protocols, maintain safe distance, everybody is safe in the church.
Yeah. Good.
Okay, so we'll go to the next question. Do we have prison ministry in the UAE? If yes, how others can join? If no, how can we start this?
I only know that from time to time there is someone going to Al-Wasta prison. What about other prisons? I simply do not know. I would have to check what is possible, what is accepted also by the government, by the ministry. I know the matter of principle, they are open. At least they have showed openness in the past. I hope it continues to be like that. Now, of course, it's not enough to have from time to time only a meeting with the groups or with, even to celebrate the Mass, although that may be precious. I had once myself celebrated the Mass in Al-Waqfa. But this is definitely a domain which can be intensified, but it requires prudence because we have to negotiate and to be in touch with the directions of the respective prison and to get the permits, because there are a lot of security issues connected to that, which makes it also more complicated. But I think as a matter of principle, the openness is there. What is possible from our side, that has to be looked at in the parishes. We have 2 parishes in Abu Dhabi, a city, town, which could probably also share this concern in common. Together, it's not only a question of the priest, it's a question also of certain groups within the parish who could do this service as far as it is allowed. We have individual persons who do quite a lot in this regard when it comes to people who have to be freed, I would say, from wrong accusations and so on.
Next, we just have thanks. Dear Bishop, I would like to thank you from the bottom of my heart for all your support to St. Joseph Parish. Thank you for your care and understanding, because of which our life is much more bearable here in spite of the present condition.
Thank you.
We have another one. Dear Bishop, thank you for being our shepherd. Please, can you have general absolution for all obligatory masses?
Yeah, we have thought about that. But you know, the general absolution is a form of confession which shouldn't be too ordinary. That's why I limited this possibility normally to once a month to give this opportunity. Otherwise, it becomes like an ordinary thing, and that shouldn't be the case. I think it is I can't take the responsibility for that. It's already something extraordinary now, but I would have difficulties to allow it every weekend.
Okay. We still, if you have any questions, those who are on Zoom, please raise your hands. Those who are on YouTube, please send us WhatsApp. We just have a message. We definitely have to thank you, Bishop Paul Hinder, Royden, and Father Johnson, who have done this wonderful initiative of letting people inside the church for masses. The other churches all over UAE ask for a COVID result, but here we get a chance to come pray with no hesitation and love every moment in the church. Wonderful service, and most importantly, always following the procedures.
Wonderful.
Okay. Thank you. We don't have any more questions. We're waiting for questions. But till then, as we know, yesterday we had a special video being played, performance by all the volunteers, the priests, the nuns, and the staff, but it got disrupted because we had a power problem here. So we are going to replay the video right now.
Okay. Jerusalem.
Yes.
I want to see my cook again.
Well, he was the best. Okay, technical team is still going through it. As you know, our technical team, I don't know if we can push the camera, that's it, but we have a wonderful technical team who's been working all these 3 days.
Maybe there's a virus.
So we have, I think we'll just move on the camera towards them to know who are the ones who are making mistakes and not showing you the proper videos.
But
So
it came out well in the YouTube, right?
We have Mr. Conrad from IT department, as you saw. We have Jerry from VV Studio. We have Nandini, our parish council secretary, Mr. Bong, our vice president, and Dr. A, who's taking care of all our medicines here. He's hiding behind. So this is our technical team who's been working last 3 days to make sure everything goes live and proper here. Thank you guys so much for your support. Now, can you have the video, please? I thank you also. Let's have a proper video. Okay, after we have one more question. After that, we'll come on the video. Someone is raising their hands. We have Joyce again.
Hello again, Bishop. Just wanted to understand how can we get all the young adult groups in the parish to work and function together and cooperate a little more and work together as YAM.
Yeah, in letting them participate, that has to be again animated and mobilized within the parish. Now, how? And we would have to look at the different people who are interested and motivated to participate in the life of the parish. I think there must, a matter of principle, the openness is there, but you have also to take yourself the first step sometimes.
I think in the current situation, the best way will be for them to join as volunteers with us, right, Bishop? So let them join as volunteers, and definitely all the youngsters can work together and support the church as much as possible. Any other questions or anyone would like to say something on Zoom? Please raise your hands or please WhatsApp us. Or we are ready with the video, so we'll play the video now.
Okay. Open the door. It's almost like the main gate here sometimes when it is locked.
Next to them, long road.
No, when the things are there, it can't open sometimes. Ah.
Fine.
Jerusalema ikhaya lami ilondoloze uhambe nami zungangishilana Jerusalema ikhaya lami ilondoloze uhambe nami zungangishilana dawo yami ayikholana buso wami awukholana ilondoloze zuhambe nami dawo yami ayikholana buso wami awukholana ilondoloze dawo yami ayikholana buso wami awukholana ilondoloze zuhambe nami dawo yami ayikholana buso wami awukholana ilondoloze zuhambe nami Jerusalema ikhaya lami ilondoloze uhambe nami zungangishilana Jerusalema ikhaya lami ilondoloze uhambe nami zungangishilana dawo yami ayikholana buso wami awukholana ilondoloze zuhambe nami
Thank you.
So you saw cook dancing, Bishop? Did he dance well? Your cook, did he dance well?
Yeah.
They have practiced only for 5 minutes, Bishop, and then they have danced.
I'm always in admiration of the people who can do that so fast. My bones wouldn't work anymore.
Okay, the next question. Possible to arrange adoration either weekly or monthly?
Possible, surely that it should be possible again, but right now we have to look what enters into the regulations that parish has, and then to coordinate with the regulations of the government. But I am expecting, because the question is in all this matter a little bit the definition of prayer, because the government has the aspect, the main prayers. Now, of course, that's a flexible term. What does it mean? We can also an adoration see as a main prayer. Why not? And to explain it. Then, of course, the length. That is also, normally they do not allow the prayer longer than 1 hour maximum. So we can surely find possibilities to adjust, that we can respond to both responsibilities, the regulations of the government and the need, the spiritual need of our people. But it's not always so easy as people think. They think we can simply go to St. Joseph and make an adoration as before. And I'm sorry that right now it's not possible in that way. But that doesn't mean between nothing and everything, there should be the possibility of a middle way. As I said already yesterday, for example, for Corpus Christi or so, it should be possible that we can foresee at least a window which gives a little bit also the expression of the mystery we are celebrating on that day. But that is a question to organize by the parish.
We hope things get better soon so that we can get back to all this. Next question we have, it's a person who has been coming to the parish for past 15 to 20 years, attending a mass every week with his family and his child, being an altar server. How can he prove himself that he is an Abu Dhabi parishioner in case of any request to get a certificate for child for education purposes to get a Christian quota seat in a college, that he or she is part of this parish without showing his child's baptism certificate or getting the recommendation of any of the community group leaders? Is there a way to solve this issue?
Sorry.
They want a certificate.
Here, it's a text, yeah. A person who has been coming to the parish. Do I understand it the right way? Because they don't have or they can't find the baptism certificate?
That's what I'm not sure. No, they're saying without it, how can they prove?
So it seems there are cases where they have difficulties to find that, but we will have to look into individual case. If they have been baptized in a region where there is war and things have been destroyed, then we have this particular case. Then there are witnesses probably of the baptism or whatever it was. But sometimes people, they want to go a little bit the fast way. It can also be that. We would have to look into the individual case. But if someone is practicing Catholic, he must have been baptized. And how to prove it? Normally, that's the register in the parish where he was or she was baptized. then it's also possible to get a certificate if you explain it for what purpose it is.
Now we'll take the last message that is from our loving altar servers who are missing the church. We have a picture from them and the message. Welcome, Bishop, and good evening. On behalf of the altar server ministry, we would like to express our gratitude for your love and care to our children serving the Lord. And thank you for your patience. And we know even you are tired and asking for a picture with us and with the altar server children, you still give your best and lovable smile. Sorry if we are naughty for asking for a pictorial with you.
Good. Until the next time.
Okay, we'll take one more question. That will be the last question. It's come on a WhatsApp now. Again from the young adults. As a young adult in your time, Bishop, what was the most challenging time and how did your youth cope up with those difficulties? Also, how do we move forward as a youth of this parish, especially during COVID and post-COVID?
Yeah, don't forget it's 60 years when I was a young adult. I can't remember all the details. And at that time, of course, we were organized differently. I was at a secondary school, boarding school of the Capuchins during the main time, from the age of 13 to the age of 20. And there we had, of course, our own organization. We had the students club. We had the possibility to play theater, dramas and so on, besides the school activities and so on. There was a lot of activities, but it was in a context of Catholic culture because it was a Catholic school, by the way, run by the Capuchins at that time. And there I have grown up. So it's not comparable with what people here in the UAE are experiencing. It's a completely different setting and context of youth experience. I still remember with love this time I passed there. By the way, it's since that time I know Father Gandolf, who is my collaborator at the Bishop's house. We know each other since more than 60 years now. Huh?
Okay. Thank you, Bishop. Now, as that was the final question, now may I request His Excellency to please give us your message and give us your blessing.
Yeah, the message, I hope we had enough messages this evening. I'm tired. But coming back, I think we are on Pentecost and the pastoral visit as one of the purposes, the main purpose is to strengthen you in your faith, to get a little bit the picture of the life of the parish, of the vitality. It's also to be aware that sometimes not everything is working as it should. For that, we have this possibility, not only, by the way, during the pastoral visit, there's always the possibility also to recur directly to the parish, or if it is a question which regards the life in the vicariate, you can also give feedback through one of the offices at the Bishop's house or to the official address of the Bishop's house. Don't bombard me too much on my personal address if you have it, because sometimes I'm no more master to digest everything that's coming in during the day. And so I need also my collaborators to help me to filter the things. But coming back, what we are celebrating now, the Spirit, the Holy Spirit has been given to us, not only to the bishop, not only to the priest, not only to the nuns, but to each baptized person and confirmed person. So together we go forward. Together we are forming the body of Christ. Together we are the people of God. And if Pope Francis these days has issued this directive in view of this, I call it now the synod, which should be a process, synodal process starting from the basis. We are part of that. And there will be also the possibility, surely, in this vicariate, that we can bring in suggestions which concern the life of the whole church. but it requires that we are living in a spirit of prayer, of openness, of mutual love, of mutual acceptance, and also the capacity to live with differences, because we are, especially here in the Garden Church, with components of many cultures, of many languages, of many religious traditions within the Catholic Church. And that requires a certain open-mindedness, and we cannot live like that. Besides the questions which have not only a religious aspect where we are integrated, partly at least, into a society, we are here guests in this society of the UAE, but we contribute with our life, with our hopefully good example to the peace in the society, and that means also in the region. And as you know, we are in a very explosive part of the world when you look what is happening in the Holy Land and in Israel, when you look what is happening in our own vicariate in the Republic of Yemen, what is on the other side of the Gulf. So Iraq, Iran, we are there in an explosive situation. And so we Catholic Christians should be part of the solution, as I used today in the past, through our life. And that's the challenge, that we are not losing ourselves in the small daily problems which have their importance, but there is much more at stake nowadays when we look at the big problems in the world. I don't even speak about the climate issue, but for especially here, the relationship to other religions, our contribution to justice and peace in the small world and in the bigger world, where we have the possibilities. And the Spirit, the Holy Spirit, whom we invoke in a particular way on this Feast of Pentecost, is the one who has to guide us. And not only to guide us, he gives us the capacity to do it. And that is my invitation. Do not only ask questions, pass to ask acts, and try to be initiative in your smaller world, and sometimes the world then becomes bigger while you are acting. Thank you for your collaboration in this parish. I wish to thank not only the crew who has made possible this form of online meeting. I wish to thank again all our priests, our nuns, all the lay people, men and women who are actively involved in the activities of the parish. And let's continue to be united in prayer, not only when we are gathered, but every day when we are in our personal prayer, in contact, in relationship with God. Then we are not alone. We are connected each other, even by social distance. And I give you now the final blessing. The Lord be with you.
And with your spirit.
And may the blessing of Almighty God, the Father and the Son, and the Holy Spirit come down on you and remain with you forever. Amen. Good night, and see you again, either in the church or on the screen, or the latest in heaven. Huh? Okay, goodbye.
As we conclude this final meeting of His Excellency's pastoral visit to our church, we thank you, Excellency, for your time and coming to us. And we thank our parish priest, Father Johnson, for his support and this initiative, and also the technical team who have been sending a lot of messages to me while on live. And finally, all the parishioners who made it possible. Thank you so much, guys. Good night.
Good night.
Good night. Thank you so much. Good night.
Good night, all.